Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment. As the Tennessee Titans hire Mike Vrabel as their new head coach. I tried to do a live stream talking about this, but my audio kept messing up. I deleted that. Let me actually talk about that in a video and then upload it the good old-fashioned way. Okay, so yet again, 2 years later, I have to come on here and talk about a head coaching hire, which frankly, I do not like. Okay, last time when the Titans hired Mike Mularkey, I came on here and I said, I think there's going to be a ceiling with Mike Mularkey. I can't tell you quite how far it's going to be. It could be playoffs, but most likely not. And we're going to get rid of him after 2 or 3 years, right? That was my main stance. And that's kind of my main stance on Mike Vrabel. I'm not happy. Look, maybe this guy's going to be really good. Let me be clear right now, because y'all are going to be coming back to this video for years telling me how right or wrong I was. So let me be clear in the beginning of this video. He could be a great head coach for this football team. He could take us to the promised land, and I hope that he is. But his resume does not show that. 1 time, 1 year defensive coordinator in the NFL, and his defense was the worst in the league. That's bad. I don't care how you explain it away. Now I understand he dealt with injuries this year. J.J. Watt went down. Whitney Merciless went down. Bernard McKinney went down for the Houston Texans. Okay, I understand all of those things. Your defense should not be the worst in the league. They allowed 27 points per game. Oh my God. And it was things that you saw from them defensively in terms of play calling that were on him, and Texans fans will tell you this themselves. They will not miss Mike Vrabel. Now, he was a very good linebacker coach, okay? Throughout his time as a linebacker coach, he helped the development and the progression for Bernard McKinney, who's been drafted by the Texans in that time, and he's progressed well under Mike Vrabel. Jadeveon Clowney, same thing. Whitney Merciless was drafted just before Vrabel became linebacker coach, but he helped him become a good linebacker in this league. Okay, I like that. But man, as a one-time defensive coordinator, he was bad. I mean, Texans fans will tell you they were not impressed with this man. Again, maybe you could argue with those players. And with J.J. Watt, with Whitney Merciless, they would have been better. But look at their first 5 games with those men. They weren't that impressive defensively. First game, allowed 29 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I believe it was a third game, they allowed 36 to the New England Patriots. And then 5th game, they allowed 42 to the Kansas City Chiefs. So even with those men healthy, they allowed a crap ton of points. Moreover, when we faced them, I remember we scored 14 in the first half. Mariota got hurt, and then we didn't score anything after that. Okay, of course. But I think we were on pace to score maybe 28 points in that game. Like, I would have put a good bet for us to score about 28 points because that game looked like a shootout early. Their defense wasn't good this year, okay? And I think a lot of that fell on Mike Vrabel. Texans fans will tell you, man, they were just begging for Romeo Crennel to be the defensive coordinator again this year, okay? Like, they would much prefer Crennel to Vrabel. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, this head coaching search was a bad head coaching search. Unless if this guy's great. If he's great, then maybe I can explain it away to say, okay, he's great, so that's fine. But you're telling me we fired Mike Mularkey on Monday and we ran this whole operation in 5 days? That's ridiculous. You're telling me we didn't even wait another day, assuming the Eagles lose, to call John DeFilippo, the quarterback coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, that we didn't wait a day to call Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, who to me, those 2 men were the best candidates out on the market. We couldn't wait a day, assuming they lose. And even if they don't, you can't wait till after the Super Bowl. Look, I don't think Steve Wilks, Mike Vrabel, or Matt LaFleur were going to get hired, okay? I just don't think so. I don't think that Steve Wilks or Matt LaFleur were bad candidates either. I think they just weren't going to get hired. So you could wait until after the Super Bowl. Like, we fired a head coach in the middle of January. You're going to have to be patient with this thing. Wait until after the Super Bowl, then hire the best guy. I'm fine with that. But no, we ran this whole operation in 5 days, and John Robinson, our general manager, wanted this guy, period. Because look at what we did. We interviewed Steve Wilks, a black guy, because we had to, because of the Rooney Rule, and I have a problem with that. Okay, I have a problem with that, but that's another story for another day. We interviewed him because we had to. That guy's a better candidate. That guy's a better candidate than Mike Vrabel. And I think he's a better leader of men. I've been very impressed with Steve Wilks and the press conferences I've seen from him. He goes up there and he talks strong, and his defense comes out there and they play well. His defense played well this year. They rejuvenated that entire Carolina Panther football team and led them to the playoffs. Now, they had their struggles here and there. I understand that. They allowed 31 in the playoffs. I know that's not great. But their defense was top 10 this year, maybe even top 5, and he was pretty much the reason why. Because their defense last year was not. I think it was even bottom 10 last year. He actually helped his team's defense, unlike Mike Vrabel, in which the Texans' defense took the most ultimate step back. I think they went from worst to first. Honestly, it was near there. It was near there. So this was a farce of a head coaching hire in which we interviewed a token black guy because we had to. We interviewed Matt LaFleur for no reason, and then we hired Mike Vrabel. We didn't even wait 1 day, potentially 2 weeks, to talk to the best candidates on the market, Jim Schwartz and John DeFilippo. I have a problem with that. One more problem. Why did we fire Mike Mularkey? Because we need to be clear on this, people. Because now that makes no sense to me. I said, look, if Mike Mularkey wasn't going to fire his offensive coordinator, then sure, he deserves to go. But I don't think he deserves to go in exchange for this. Like, the thing for Mike Vrabel, the thing that people keep talking about with him, his strengths. Let's talk about his strengths for a second. Okay, he's a great leader. He's a leader of men. He's a solid communicator. Okay, he's a guy that can delegate, we believe. Okay, those are good qualifications. Mike Mularkey was pretty good at that stuff. But you can hate him all you want. The players didn't. They played for him. Mike Mularkey was a pretty decent leader of men. That was not the problem in Tennessee. The problem in Tennessee, our schemes, especially offensively, were not smart enough to beat the opponents on a consistent basis. We needed a smarter head coach that was going to bring a stronger system to this football team. I think offensively and defensively, because I thought Dick LeBeau had lost his luster, and we saw that against the Patriots, in which we could not do anything to stop Dion Lewis, and that was a defensive schematic thing. Okay, that was not a personnel thing. So anyway, that's another story for another day. Now we have Mike Vrabel, and when we look at him, there's no evidence that he's going to fix either side of the football field. That he's going to bring a strong system to either side of the football field. His defense was bad last year. His offense, who knows what kind of scheme he's going to run for this football team. Now, perhaps he's going to go out and hire a great offensive coordinator. Okay, what's going to happen when that offensive coordinator comes in, does well, and is hired as a new head coach elsewhere? We have to find someone different, and eventually we're going to find someone bad, and then we're going to be bad, okay? Assuming that the defensive side of things is fixed, which we cannot even say because Mike Vrabel wasn't able to do that. Like, that's why I was actually fine with going out and hiring like a Steve Wilks, defensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, whom we talked to, the token black guy I was talking about, because that guy would have fixed one side of the football and potentially made it elite. Like, I think a guy like Steve Wilks or Jim Schwartz could have came in here and made our defense elite, and I'd have no problem with that. Okay, imagine Marcus Mariota with an elite defense. Like, bro, just go out there and just score 20 and we'll win the game. We'll win every game we play. I'm cool with that. But now we don't even have that. Like, we have a guy that I'm convinced that has no evidence that he's going to fix either side of the football field. That's bad. So, this was a farce of a head coaching hire. His resume is not good. And the reasons we fired Mike Mularkey, this guy is not even going to come in and fix. What the hell are we doing? I mean, people, this just doesn't make sense to me. Now, I'm going to say it again. I hope that he's great. I hope that he comes in here and he instills a nice culture in Tennessee. But here's another point, dude. Look at this guy, man. This is such a Tennessee Titans head coach archetype. And that also pisses me off. Okay, like, we are so unimaginative when it comes to hiring head coaches, dude. You just have these guys that go up there, they preach their conservative football. We just like to be tough, a tough football team. Look at me in my shorts. Like, we keep hiring guys like this, man, and I don't get it. Matt LaFleur, okay, offensive coordinator for the Rams, young guy, 38 years old. That would have been something different, dude. And Mike Vrabel's 42, but look at him, man. He looked like Mike Munchak. I don't want to hear that. Look at Steve Wilks, okay? Look, I don't want to go too much on diversity, but look, it would have been nice to have some diversity as a head coach for Tennessee for once, too. That would have been nice, and he's qualified, okay? That would have been something different. Jim Schwartz, actually someone with a mouth on him that's going to go up there and speak his mind, okay? Instead of just, sticking to the script, sticking to the narrative. Someone that's actually going to go up there and tell you what he thinks. A little Jeff Fisher-esque in that matter. But even Fisher, by the end of it, he was pretty conservative too when he went and when he was talking to the public. John DeFilippo, same thing. A guy that, from what I've seen, speaks his damn mind. But no, we have to get someone that's going to come in here and just, spit the old jargon. And what I'm seeing, I think John Robinson wants total control of this football team. I think he hired a guy here who's not going to be very involved in personnel decisions, who's not going to challenge him, and I think that's what John Robinson wanted. Like, Robinson runs a tight ship. If we're just going to go all in on Robinson, I'm fine with that. We're probably going to be fine. But at the same time, dude, you can hire a head coach who's going to challenge you. Look at Pete Carroll and John Schneider, that head coach GM relationship. That's a good relationship. They challenge each other. They both involved in personnel decisions, even in coaching decisions. They're able to help each other grow. I think that's good. But right now we're going to have a situation where John Robinson is in total control, and I think he has a head coach that, yeah, he has his head out on the football team, but John Robinson is running this show. And I think that's okay because he has shown the ability to build a great roster, and we're going to keep adding to that roster, and that's fine. But at the same time, dude, this is the guy that you wanted, this weak resume, this farce of a head coaching search. I just don't understand it, okay? So let me end on this. I hope Mike Vrabel is great. I hope that he's great. I hope that, dear God, we don't regress. I hope we become a Super Bowl team. I hope to God. I'm going to listen to his press conference on Monday. Hopefully I can buy in and it'll be great. We'll go to the Super Bowl. We'll win it. It'll be great. But if we fired Mike Mularkey because we were concerned about Marcus Mariota and we were concerned that this football team wasn't headed in the right direction, I don't see how we fix that today. I just don't buy it. Hiring a one-time defensive coordinator whose defense was bad. He may be a great leader of men, so was Mike Mularkey, honestly. Leading men wasn't the problem. The problem, the offense and defensive systems that we had weren't good enough. So someone tell me how Mike Vrabel is going to come in here and change that. Or has John Robinson just hired a guy to serve as the head of the team while he's really running the show? And I kind of have a problem with that. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.